Yeah, if they're telling you that there's no clones, the guy telling you is probably a fucking clone. At this point, I have no doubt that they've made human clones. They've made they made dog clones. You can get your dog cloned. If your dog's gonna die, you can get the DNA from your dog, get a puppy, and it'll be eerily similar to your dog. They think including some personality traits, which is just very bizarre, very Pet Cemetery.
Right.
But if they can do that, why can't they do that to people?
The moment this story started circulating, most people laughed it off. It sounded too extreme, too unreal, like something pulled straight out of a late-night conspiracy thread. The idea that some of the biggest names in Hollywood could be replaced, copied, or somehow altered behind the scenes felt impossible. But then, things didn't stay quiet. Old clips began resurfacing. Interviews people had watched years ago suddenly felt different. Expressions, pauses, even the way certain celebrities spoke started to feel off. And slowly, what once sounded ridiculous started making people uncomfortable. That's when Joe Rogan stepped in, not with loud accusations, not with wild claims, but with questions. The kind of questions that make you stop and think.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
Oh, I like it. You can use a spray
It's
paint.
the symbol of the all-mocking tongue. And I'm sick of it. I want everybody to be in on the joke, man. You know what I mean? For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things and, you know, and look at him trying to.
And once he started connecting those dots, people began to notice something they hadn't seen before. Patterns, similar behaviors, sudden personality shifts that didn't quite make sense. And what nobody expected was how many names would start getting pulled into the conversation. Because according to what Rogan was hinting at, this wasn't just about one celebrity. This was something much bigger. It didn't begin with a headline or a breaking news alert. It started quietly, with small observations, people noticing that their favorite stars didn't feel the same anymore. Not physically, but emotionally. The energy had changed.
She had not been seen in 4 days at that point. The last person she'd spoken to, it's believed, is Jim Carrey.
And when you look at Hollywood, that's where everything starts to get complicated. For decades, the entertainment industry has been more than just movies and music. It's influence, it's power, it shapes culture, opinions, even identity. And celebrities aren't just performers, they're brands, carefully managed and controlled. Every interview, every appearance, every word is often filtered through layers of management.
Texted her the night before, saying that he was actually missing a bunch of pills from his medicine cabinet, asking if she had them, but there was no response.
So when something changes, people notice, even if they can't explain why. Take Jim Carrey, for example. Years ago, he was known for his loud personality, his unpredictable humor, his larger-than-life presence. But over time, something shifted. His interviews became quieter, more philosophical, almost detached. Some people said it was growth. Others said it was personal struggles.
She had obtained 3 bottles of pills from someone under an alias. It's believed it was possibly Jim Carrey.
But then came moments where even fans felt confused. It wasn't just change. It felt like a completely different energy. And that's where Joe Rogan started asking questions.
Found her body after finding her cell phone before they even called her family. So he obviously was incredibly torn up about this, but he really was there in the aftermath.
He didn't say, "This is happening." Instead, he pointed out how often these shifts occur. Not gradually over years, but suddenly. One moment a celebrity is outspoken, full of energy, and the next they seem distant, almost robotic. Rogan brought up how multiple public figures showed similar patterns. Different people, different backgrounds, but strangely similar transformations. But here's the twist. It wasn't just about personality.
Huge conspiracy theory about beloved Hollywood actor Jim Carrey right now because people are saying he's acting and looking very different. Did the Illuminati finally get their loudest whistleblower and clone him, thus silencing him? This is like 2 conspiracy theories in one, so here's everything you need to know.
I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower.
So yesterday, 64-year-old Jim Carrey received a Caesar Award in Paris, which is like a French Oscar. And he was just suspiciously acting out of character for the iconic Jim Carrey personality. And longtime fans also noticed he looked younger or very different. And for a lot of actors in Hollywood, that's the norm. He's 64. I support people getting work done. But a lot of conspiracy theorists who are really just diehard fans say normally Jim Carrey would never do this. His whole brand is drastically changing his facial expressions and melding his face into whatever he needs to do for his role. It's just the last person you would ever expect to do that. But what's really freaking people out and driving home the conspiracy theory is that his eyes are a completely different color now. They are green, but they used to be very obviously brown. Is it him? Is someone new under the mask? And Jim Carrey is infamous for his whole career long time, giving very powerful speeches against government corruption, against capitalism, against those in power.
Rogan began referencing how advanced technology has become. Not just what the public sees, but what might exist behind closed doors. He talked about deep fakes, artificial intelligence, and how realistic digital recreations already are. And then he asked a question that made people pause. If this is what we have access to, what exists that we don't know about? Suddenly, people started connecting dots. There were clips, viral moments where celebrities seemed to glitch, a delayed reaction here, a strange eye movement there, speech patterns that didn't match their past selves. At first, these moments were dismissed as stress or exhaustion, but when similar clips began appearing across multiple celebrities, the conversation changed. Rogan mentioned names carefully, not accusing but observing. Artists who disappeared from the spotlight and returned completely different. Actors whose entire demeanor shifted between projects. Public figures who suddenly started contradicting everything they once believed in. And what made it even more unsettling was how consistent it all felt.
Priest, you need a date to the party? What's up?
No. I'm doing just fine. I just, there's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am.
They're celebrating.
You got to admit it's completely meaningless.
Well, they say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe in
icons, boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming, possibility that we could come up with. It's like icons. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air.
You don't believe certain icons have the power to make change, to think differently, to be bold, to inspire others? Artistry? You're one of them.
On the good foot. Ha! Yeah. You shut her down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I don't believe in personalities. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond invention and disguise, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. I believe that it's deeper than that. I believe we're a field of energy dancing for itself. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
Was that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
There's no you.
No.
We're not here. This is a
It wasn't chaos. It wasn't random. It was a pattern. Rogan also spoke about control, not just physical control, but narrative control. How quickly certain discussions get shut down, how fast people are labeled as crazy for even questioning things. He pointed out that whenever conversations get too close to uncomfortable truths, something always seems to distract the public. A new scandal, a new headline, something to shift attention. And people started noticing that too. Because every time these theories gained traction, something bigger would suddenly dominate the news, and just like that, the conversation would disappear. But here's where things got even deeper. Rogan didn't focus only on behavior. He talked about the emotional disconnect. Fans began saying their favorite celebrities no longer felt real, not in a physical sense, but in presence. The authenticity seemed gone. Interviews felt scripted, reactions felt delayed, even live performances sometimes felt off. And once you notice that, it's hard to ignore. Some fans defended it. They said it's just pressure, fame, aging, and in many cases that could absolutely be true. But others weren't convinced, because the changes weren't gradual, they were sudden, sharp, almost like a switch had been flipped. Rogan kept coming back to one idea: patterns don't lie.
Don't exist. So they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right, because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern.
Found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on PSYOPs
Who's
in
this
the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly, it took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears too. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah.
So look at
today. The world was World Autism Awareness Day. You both must be encouraged by all that's happened in this subject since you literally started it.
Yeah, you know, we've come a long way within the community. When I first had Evan diagnosed with autism, there wasn't much of anything. I had to find out about biomedical treatment on the internet after I typed in autism on Google. And out 3 years later now, there's 3 books and many thousands of children getting better because of biomedical treatment.
Jenny brought so much focus to this problem. And kind of that's why I'm here, is I want to bring as much focus as we can to this problem.
You married autism. Or, well, you're not married, so you live with autism.
When I invited Jenny into my life, I invited Evan into my life. And when I first met Evan, it was like he was on another planet. I wasn't in the room. There was no eye contact. There was no response to dialogue. There was no affection. And over time, I witnessed Jenny pull Evan through the window of unconsciousness and isolation into our world, where he is now a fully functioning person who can communicate, who can connect, and this is through biomedical treatments, GFCF diet, and the therapies that she's talking about. So I believe that autism, in my heart, is preventable
and treatable.
Fully functional.
He's completely recovered, Larry, completely recovered. And he's not the only one. There are thousands in this community that are getting better.
Why did you go so public? I mean, you had an autistic child. He got better. So why are you here?
I could have, hid and not said anything, and Evan would have blended into society. I made a pact with God, though. The day Evan became diagnosed with autism, I said, if you show me the way, God, and show me how to heal my boy, I will continue to teach the world how I did it. And within 1 year of that kind of conversation with God, Evan was undiagnosed from autism.
But it's still shocking to see how many people are ignoring this information.
The American Academy of Pediatrics, I begged and have sat down with and said, why are you not sitting down with our doctors and our scientists who are treating and recovering children with autism? And they refuse to this day to sit down.
Do you think if there was any possibility that a child was being helped, that someone would listen, someone would take a look? And the fact is, they're not even considering the information. They're not only not considering, they're just.
He didn't claim to have proof. He didn't say this was definitely happening, but he laid out enough observations that people began questioning everything. And once that door opened, there was no going back. Then came the emotional side of it all, because if even a fraction of this were true, what would it mean? Think about the families, the close friends, the people who knew these celebrities before fame. Imagine noticing that something isn't right, but not being able to explain it. Imagine watching someone you love slowly become unrecognizable, not physically, but emotionally. That kind of change doesn't just affect careers, it affects relationships, trust, identity. Fans felt it too. That connection people build with celebrities, the feeling that you know them, understand them, started to fade, and in its place came confusion, doubt, even fear. Because what people thought was real suddenly didn't feel real anymore. Careers were impacted in subtle ways. Some celebrities lost their spark. Others became more controlled, more calculated. It was like the unpredictability that once made them human was slowly disappearing. And that's what hit people the hardest. Because fame has always been about illusion, but this felt different. This felt deeper. As the conversation grew, more people started revisiting old footage, comparing interviews from years ago to recent ones, looking at body language, tone, energy, and while not everyone agreed, one thing became clear: something had changed. Whether it was pressure, personal struggles, or something more, people couldn't ignore it anymore. And Joe Rogan, he never gave a final answer. Instead, he left people with questions. And maybe that was the most powerful part of all, because sometimes it's not about proving something is true. It's about making people think, making them look closer, making them question what they've always accepted without doubt. In a world where everything is carefully presented, carefully edited, and carefully controlled, the truth isn't always obvious. And maybe, just maybe, the biggest stories aren't the ones that get confirmed. They're the ones that never fully go away. And maybe that's the part that stays with you the longest. Not the clips, not the theories, not even the names that kept coming up again and again, but that feeling, that quiet, unsettling feeling that something isn't quite what it seems. Because once a question like this enters your mind, it doesn't just disappear, it lingers. It makes you look twice at things you once ignored. It makes you listen a little closer, watch a little longer, and think a little deeper. Because what if the truth isn't something loud and obvious? What if it's hidden in plain sight, buried under years of carefully controlled narratives, perfectly timed appearances, and stories that always seem to explain just enough, but never everything? And that's where it gets uncomfortable. Because whether you believe these ideas or not, one thing is certain: something has changed. The way celebrities present themselves, the way the industry operates, the way stories are shaped and delivered to the public, it's not the same anymore. And people are starting to notice. But here's the real question: why? Why do so many of these moments feel similar? Why do so many stories follow the same pattern? And why does it seem like every time people get close to asking the right questions, the conversation suddenly shifts? Maybe there's a simple explanation. Maybe it's just fame, pressure, and the cost of living under a spotlight that never turns off. Or maybe there's something deeper going on that we're only beginning to understand. Either way, one thing is clear: the more you look, the more you start to see. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think all of this is just coincidence? Just the natural evolution of fame and technology? Or do you believe there's something bigger happening behind the scenes that people aren't ready to talk about? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation about it. And if you made it this far, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps push this video out so more people can see it and share their perspective. And make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're only just getting started. There are more stories, more questions, and a lot more to uncover. Because in a world where everything looks perfect on the surface, the truth is usually hidden underneath. And trust me, this is just the beginning.